I'm here off the rip right away, ready to spill the details. It's been an emotional time for everybody, but today I'm not really talking about everybody. Today I'm talking about me, what my emotional journey has looked like into Cancer season. It's been about a month and a half since I've been on alive at all. I really missed going live in all sincerity. I already feel the emotions within my gut and my belly jiggling. If you're watching this video, today we're talking already about 8th house and Cancer. I have a Mars in Cancer, 8th house specifically. And I want to share a little bit about what that means as I try to get you to get more flat like that. So I have a Mars in Cancer myself in 8th house. This is my name, Mars in the 8th. Before I go any further, I definitely want to say it has not fully been activated yet, but join my Discord. It is the top link over in the chat. Take a moment to vote if you're coming in fresh and brand new. I miss you all. Thank you all for the emails and the support and the time that I have not been on the lives. If I cry today, it's more likely than not a mission success. I almost imagine I should cry. Probably like most people, which I'm not going to talk about. I'll talk mostly about my personal testimony. My name is PernellBobby, your AstroTherapist. Always looking to help you alleviate suffering, all while leveraging astrology. So I'm going to do that today while speaking about the Cancer season, about what Cancer season has shown me, while Venus is here in Gemini. Mercury just officially hit Cancer. I already have angel ringers going off. So that's also interesting. I'm currently in Miami, which is super dope. The water is right there. I wonder, I don't think I can turn these files and it's not worth it. So definitely understand quick, like before I really get into the whole testimonial part about why you're here listening to Cancer 8th today, I would like for you to not only take that vote over in the corner in the chat, but engage in the chat. I'm asking you actually to come out there and help me today. Today is my first live back in a month and a half, and it's really a renewal of why I began YouTube in the first place, and before YouTube, other creative pursuits. And a lot of it is because I have a tremendous amount of emotions that has not always had the proper outlets, okay, with all of the excess energy that likes to burst through literally my head, being Aries, right? So again, you know, I'm looking, I know I'm not the only one going through a crap ton of emotional damage. I understand that. And in all sincerity, I don't see it as emotional damage. I see it as one of the most necessary parts. Boom. Thank you. Thank you, Secret. I just said that. I see it as one of the most necessary parts and stages of my life currently right now, as I'm getting ready to go ahead and give out that testimony about what has the last month and a half looked like, what am I actually experiencing that has allowed me, and really not even allowed me, but like why my spirit, my soul, okay, has requested of me to step out of the limelight, to turn off the lights, the cameras, and the action, to go ahead and address what unhealed emotions exist within me, what unhealed wounds exist within me, what wounds or emotions have I never addressed, and like a Scorpio rising, tuck them under the rug. I've spoken many times about this, about Scorpio risings and why they do things like this. And ultimately is one, to remember that we're rising, okay? So it's like, I'm not a Scorpio itself, I'm rising to become, if you will. And you know, fear is the main motivator to anything Scorpio related. Fear is the main motivator. So I'm going to talk a lot about 8th house today. Cancer 8th house is what I'm at, what a lot of what I have. I do thank you for those thumbs up. As always, I say it again, I do thank you for those thumbs up as always, whether you're watching us on replay or live. So Cancer is a symbol of nostalgia, okay? And during this Cancer season, we officially have Mercury there at 4th house. This is ancestral memories. These are the memories that have allowed the crab, or the symbol, the signal of Cancer, to recognize all known threats and realize that Cancer, the crab itself, has been alive more than 65 million years, more and longer than the dinosaurs, but they still remain form. And I find it ironic because I was in Puerto Escondido. Like many of you know, I ran a retreat out there, really enjoyed it. Shout out to those of you that made it. Really, it's a pleasure. We're doing the 8 weeks follow-up coming soon. Anybody that is looking to join that, I took that extra time out for myself to make sure I go through my own healing journey, make sure that I'm not out here speaking and spitting knowledge and not being what I consider a real leader. And for me, real leaders are capable of being vulnerable. And I had to recognize what vulnerabilities did I shy away from? What vulnerabilities did I just choose to no longer embrace or tuck to the side because it wasn't necessarily beneficial for production, or wasn't necessarily beneficial for those of you who may be watching? And I had to really get back in check with the fact that Cancer is an individual sign. It doesn't need other people. Understand that. It doesn't need the collective. Understand that. It knows very well how to secure and make what it needs and what it discovers as something safe and secure. It knows how to go ahead and unconventionally, much like Aquarius. And I've been realizing Cancer has a lot of abilities. Cancer literally is abilities. And when you put Cancer in the 8th house, like what I have, what's important to understand, I had to realize is our abilities, if you will I need to get a charger. Our abilities in the 8th house are essentially absorbed from others. Now, the difficulty of that is 8th house is others, right? But the difficulty is Cancer as an individual. So I really had to take this month and a half to step back away from the limelight and realize, like, all right, hey, I've connected with a lot of people, literally all over the world. And it's like, through these connections, what have I learned? What abilities have I gained? What abilities are officially, in a sense, mine, but that I learned from others? And how do I make sure that I go back through and sift through all those learned abilities, through all of that, especially 8th house, that occult knowledge that I've absorbed in order to transmute and to bring more power literally to myself. And to realize, like, you know, during that phase, it's something I've been consistently reminded of throughout my days, throughout my years, throughout my coaching, throughout my mentorship, throughout me taking on mentors myself. And you know, one of those things is that it's very important for me not to ever fall into the shadow of anybody else. And this is Cancer 8th house, you know, any 8th house, quite frankly. It's like we absorb the resources or the abilities or the depth of others, if you will, and we essentially transform it for ourselves. And there's a lot of fear that motivates a lot of this in the background. Like Cancer in general is a sign that will seem very fearful, and though it's not really fearful, it's more timid. But it's also timid because it's like it needs to understand if the environment is safe. And I think it's ironic because I was in Puerto Escondido, Mexico, where we were running a retreat, and after the retreat, I saw a crap ton of crabs. Cancer's in the 8th. What's up, Paula? I saw so many, Paula La Parorosa. Hey, the powerful one. There you go. Thank you all for those likes and those thumbs up. I just wanted to say that as I get into the story about the crabs and how this Cancer 8th house plays out, because everybody's in Cancer season. So no matter what, the emotions will find its way to burst through. You know, this is where we become emotionally intelligent and learn as the final sign of the individuals, which is Cancer. It's the height, in the sense, of the individuals, right? If Aries is where we first step into our instinctual selves, right? It's Taurus is where officially we get grounded in that instinctual self, and we understand, you know, and we get fixated on what we have. I had to check in with myself on what did I become fixated with, that may have brought me a certain, that I may have valued, right? And then Gemini, it's like we start actually talking to others, primarily to express our own ideas so that we can better understand ourselves. But Cancer, is back to the cardinal. So start a new season, right? And this is what's happening right now. We're in a brand new season. You might see a brand new amount of people in your life. You might find yourself in a brand new situations and scenarios of love. And I find myself in this as well. Like I find myself actually embracing love again, but it's not even a simple fact of like giving out love. But my biggest issue I had to realize was I really struggle with receiving love. And I'm going to say this again. I had to recognize that I really struggled with receiving love. I can give love out all day, seemingly infinitely. And I had to realize that I needed to really take a chill on such things. I had to really just take a chill and realize, like, until I can learn how to better receive love, I more selfishly will not give so much love. I say this again. Until I better understand how to receive love, and this is an active process and step that I'm at right now, as I ask all of you to hit that thumbs up button, help this channel out, get this message out, because a tremendous amount of people from an emotional level is suffering. And those emotions, like a Cancer naturally will do, will be repressed. It will get stuck. And that's why I literally put as the title on this, you know, repressed emotions, something. I don't actually know what I said. So I'm going to ask you to hit that thumbs up. And as I get back to the story, hey, what's up, Angela? How you doing? Synchronicity or magic? What's up? Standard Aries? Absolutely. And that's what I had to realize, you know, mind you, Mars is my ruler, right? But Cancer is in my Mars. I am an Aries sun, an Aries moon, and an Aries Mercury. Each one of those Mercury's, moon, and sun placements of my Aries, the one who standardly, the standard Aries just gives love, seemingly blind, seemingly just, it's an instinctual thing, because why not, right? It's like, why not? It's not even a why not, because it's instinct. We don't even have the moment to think. It's just like, give love. And I had to realize, like, that there are some dangers. There are some dangers involved with just giving love without balancing out the fact and the understanding that I need to make sure that these exchanges are equal and not just a continuous vicious cycle of unrequited love. Now, this isn't just in romance, but this is big for me, okay? This isn't just in business, but this is huge for me. This isn't just in friendships, and this is also big for me. I will likely say more than anything, the love in the business for me more so. And I realized that that there were certain transactional forms of love within myself. I had to check in with, what the hell does Libra in the 12th house mean? And it was a very painful, like gut-wrenching, disgusting outcome and reality that I really wanted to face. I'm not going to say I had to face, right? I could have did what I always did, or what most of us do, and tucked it back under the rug. But the reality is I have a real life mission here on Earth. And I came here to live among mortals and humans. And the caveat with doing such a thing is I can't just get rid of or tuck under the rug the human emotions or the human desires that are real, that come a part of the full package. And this is the simple reality. Like, at the end of the day, I chose to come back and reincarnate and live on Earth. And as a part of that, like, I've had to realize, like, the majority of pain, if you will, okay, 8th house being one of those things, traumas, pains, right, has been me almost ignoring certain rules, okay, about being a human on Earth. And I don't even want to necessarily say rules, but in this moment, I'm going to say certain emotions. And the bigger issue is, like, it's time for me to step up and lead at a higher capacity. It's time for me to step up and lead with a greater sense of vulnerability, which I had to really rewire my mind and recognize as a strength. And in order to do that, I had to understand, well, what was I getting mixed up about love in the first place? And I had to realize this is my Libra 12th house. You know, for me, unconditional love was actually more transactional. It's more, well, I give you this and, you know, I expect something in return. But that expectation was very silent. A Cancer wanted to hook up with me yesterday, but I declined. Shout out to you. So I had to realize that my Libra 12th house, I began to understand intimacy, okay? Intimacy as, well, what I give, anything that I give, anything that it, in a sense, it was intimacy, it was love. It's almost like, if you look at those love languages, right? Those 5 love languages, one of them were gifts. Now, what's so ironic about this is, and it doesn't have to be just gifts, it could be acts of service. I think for me, it's more a matter of acts of service. But I'm going to use gifts as a specific example to better understand this. It's almost like an exchange at Christmas. It's like, well, you come to the potluck with a plate of food, and somebody else brings a plate of food, and somebody else brings a plate of food. And I was beginning to understand these terms as intimacy, food being Cancer being one of the ones that are like cooking in the kitchen, right? Literally cooking in the kitchen. And so my point is, there was a silent expectation that I had when I did something for someone. In my mind, consciously, I was not fully understanding that I'm looking for something in return. Which is why in some ways, business, in a sense, was a little bit easier than love and romantic type of love itself. Why? Because it's like the transaction is simple and it's clear, right? If I'm considering this as love, it's like, well, I'm giving my love by sharing my service. I'm giving my love by sharing my knowledge or my travel experiences and teaching you how to meditate or how to safely practice magic with a K. Or how to, whether it's to do candle magic or whether it's to do channeling water and focusing on how to cleanse yourself with water magic or how to use fire magic, whatever it is. It's like, well, I'm giving you something, and then in return, you're giving me your attention, or in return, you're giving me $1, a price point. So in a sense, the transactional love was much simpler, and I still have my whatever faults with that. Now, the irony about this whole testimony in this moment, and why I'm here to talk to you in this Cancer season, as these more repressed emotions rise and come back up out of me. Mind you, like I have a Chiron in the 8th house of Cancer. I have a Chiron in the 8th house of Cancer. And so, excuse me, I lost my thought, 1 second. And so what does that look like, right? Hello, everyone. Missed your lives. Yeah, I miss you. I miss you all. I miss talking because, in all sincerity, for me, talking, this might be my Venus and Gemini, talking is how I better understand even the emotions that I'm sharing with you now. But mind you, again, the emotional center is Cancer, and Cancer is individual. So Cancer does not share the emotions with others. So I had to start learning all the dichotomies, kind of walking and living within me, if you will. And I'm going to take a moment to say, like this, and hit the thumbs up button so I can try to plug up my computer. I need to plug this bad girl up before I lose it all. It's therapy. Talking is therapy. Talking is therapy. Hit that thumbs up. I'm going to plug my computer. I'm right here. I am not far. Talking is a therapy. And what I had to realize is, like, talking was one of my greatest therapies. And as I say that, there's also a firm understanding that I spent most of my life not sharing the most intimate of parts. And I had to start understanding that, like, I had a misperception of intimacy. And I'm saying this for myself, right? Like, I'm understanding for myself that I understood intimacy as something very different. And what I had to realize, and it was very painful, like, to me, it was almost disgusting, in all sincerity, like, to think of me with some basic itch mentality behind transactional love. Like for me, this was so like, you seen that? I touched my head and you guys dropped 88 on screen. Full transformation happened as I'm touching my head. It's full psychological transformation. I had to start to really realize that, like, oh my God, like for me, I won't lie to you, it broke me. Like maybe like a couple weeks ago, when I'm going through all this emotional healing and I'm starting to understand these subconscious patterns within myself, I'm like, what the? It was so disgusting to me, in all sincerity. What's up, Ashley? How you doing? Good to see you, girl. It was so disgusting to me. Like even in my belly and my gut right now, as I talk about it, I still feel disgusted about it. Like, and it's like I've had to learn how to almost like unlearn and relearn how to forgive myself. Like literally, like to forgive myself for just not knowing what I didn't know. Because it's almost like in my mind, it's like, it's literally so unfathomable that I would engage or even, engage with others in a way where I'm silently expecting something in return. But when it all came to it, I had to fully embrace that it was just true. How do I do this fan? Because it's hot as hell. Checking in from Miami. I tell you this, I'm happy to not be in Puerto Escondido, Mexico anymore. Because that mother lover was hot. I was so sick of how hot it was there. Oh, I got it. Voila. And it's so beautiful. I got a big welcome in the back when I came in. Super duper dope. Everybody in Spanish calls me Bobby. Yes, I finally caught you live. Dope, dope, dope. So, oh, that thing is moving. Put it on low. Okay, low for the win. Bam. So what hurt the most is that, like, it was me having to recognize that I chose to come back here and live a human existence. So the reason why all of this is really important is because, you know, part of my design, this is part of my Pluto in the 12th house, okay? Part of my design is to actually dig deep enough and transform, you know, collective suffering. Part of it. Mind you, my whole part of fortune is Scorpio 12th house as well. Collective suffering. Miami is dope. Daytona here, hot. Bang. Yo, it's hot. It's hot out there, mother lover. I'm inside. Thank God I finally got AC. I'm back in the US and I got AC, baby. I have not been in AC. I don't even like AC, but I'm finally loving it because holy crap, it's been hot. I realized that I don't like heat too much. I don't like excessive heat. I had to really start embracing that. So I don't want to get too far from it because I really came here to actually take to talk less, to not almost get too deep into astrology and intellectualize this whole entire process, because in all sincerity, I'm not actually here to teach today. I know I take that personal role a lot, but I feel more than anything, I'm here to forgive. Okay, a lot of that's myself, and at the same time, to the best of my ability, forgive others. And one of the things that's beautiful about Cancer that I never used to understand it. Like I knew it intellectually, but I'm starting to feel it differently. And Cancer is I literally believe that Cancer is the best sign that understands how to deal with betrayal. More than anybody else, Cancer knows how to deal with betrayal. Now, when I say betrayal, understand this. When I say betrayal, it's often, as I ask you guys to check out the Discord. I'm not fully active on Discord yet. I have been collecting people, if you will, in the group. And I'm just kind of taking this Mars and Taurus approach and slowly, more methodically looking to make sure that when I do get into that Discord, when I do start getting active with everybody, that I'm doing it in the right space, the right mind. And if not that, this is my email list. So this is again where I'm looking to get a little bit more methodical in how I do what I do. A little bit more charitable as well in the process, but in the way where I'm also balancing out what that receiving love feels like, which is a lot of what I want to really get back to. you know, that wasn't so much of a surprise to me because I've understood that earlier, that like I'm not the best at receiving love. And I had to realize that, you know, I used to receive love in ways that like people would just give me things. And it could be all kinds of things. Like, I mean, it could literally be a necklace with a charm on it, and they understand that I love crystals. Or, I mean, it could, again, be as simple as your attention, right? I have a 5th house stellium. Attention could be a lot of that, right? Or it could be a home, right? I'm Cancer 8th house. It's like sharing a home with somebody, sharing emotion with somebody. Like, this for me were things that I kind of like considered and received as love. And I'm not going to say that that's not. But what I realized is that I had a very large misconception around what it means to receive love. And in all sincerity, I can't come on here and talk to you from a place of expert. Like, I'm talking to you from the student right now, as the student right now, of like, you know, I want to ask you in that chat, let me do this. Let me actually ask for help in a way that might really help me in all sincerity. And now I want to ask you, what does it mean to receive love? Like, what does receiving love feel like? What does receiving love look like? You know, in all sincerity, this is the kind of moment, this is the particular talk in the moment where I feel like an alien. I feel very much like the moment that I understand it, the moment that I get it, if you will, quote unquote, I'm going to realize very well that it's always been a part of me, that I've always known how to receive love. But I also want to, you know, be clear on the reality of the fact that I've repressed my feelings so much. And this is where it's at. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Yep, I felt it in my chest. I felt it in my belly. Maybe I struck a nerve or what I just said, but it reminded me of what I really needed to say today. It reminded me of what I really needed to say today. And while I say this, please do check in the chat with me and type out, like, what does that feel like for you? What does this mean to receive love? And I'm honest to God asking from a very curious place. I'm honest to God asking from a place like, I really want to know. In all sincerity, it's like the concept to me feels so, like, I'm going to say what I actually feel. And I understand the whatever, don't talk negative about yourself. But what the simplicity of it is, it's like coming across this piece of information, like this whole receiving love concept. It feels more like, well, what the, like, where did I go so wrong that I just forgot to just try to understand, or whatever the fuck it is, of what does it mean to receive love? In all sincerity, it's very painful for me to come to these moments of realizations of like, what? Like, what? I should have bought the whole box. The best that I have in the moment is that I realized that I don't know. I realized that, you know, this is the specific topic area that, like, I got a lot of unlearning to do. I have a whole lot of unlearning to do. Like, somewhere along the way, I learned I learned this behavior of how I received or understood intimacy versus what I more modernly look to embrace it. And not just intimacy, but receiving love as well. And it's like, you know, this has been a tough ass month, and there's a reason why I had to take a lot more time away, because it's been a tough ass month, where it's like, what it feels like is that even if people come into my life who give the proper receiving of love, like, or they give me the proper love. And it's like, if I don't even know what I'm trying to say in the moment. You know, one of the things that really began to hurt me is like, well, how many people did I hurt because I was unable to receive love? And that's what began to break me the most. You know, it's like, for me, especially as an Aries, it's easy to understand that something is wrong because it's very much like an infant. Like an infant understands very well. It's like I may not understand how to communicate certain complexities, much like an infant. Especially when it comes around this particular topic, around unrequited love or properly receiving love or transactional love and all these concepts. It's like, this is one of the ones that is extremely complex for me. You know, it's almost like the riddle that I can't solve and my life depends on it. Like humanity depends on it. I genuinely feel like that. And that's why I had to take so much time away, because I'm like, oh crap, like my purpose and my duties that I'm here to, in a sense, fulfill on earth, what I chose to come back here for. I understand very much that that learning how to properly receive love is a big part of that. Because until I understand better and I have more positive outlets for my emotions, that the suffering that's happening that I'm here to transform will continue. And I will literally relive this life cycle like I probably and most likely have already done before. I'm positive that I've felt this particular life cycle before. I'm positive. Because there's too much of a burning desire to make sure that I don't repeat that same thing. You know, it hurts because I've been meeting people lately that have been better examples and have been giving more unconditional love to me, seemingly for the first time. And, you know, I'm at a different new stage. I feel a little bit more willing to embrace what an unconditional love might feel like, what it even looks like. I feel like I'm in the moment where even in the house that I'm standing in right now, the people who have been housing me have shown me so much love where it's breaking me, like in all the right ways. It's literally shattering barriers that I've developed in order to protect myself. And the issue that's happening is, it's like, I have to step back out into the light, but not in the same way, not closed off. I can't step out and hide behind my intellect. I can't step out and hide behind my appearance or my clothing or material things that won't make it into this next dimension that we jump and hop into. This 3D reality is very clear for everybody that when Neptune in Pisces finally hits Aries, if we don't start doing this is in 2025, if we do not start breaking some of this false reality that has been cultivated, and this is why it's becoming so critically important. If we do not start to break this earlier, now, when those realities shatter, this is global psychosis, if it's not already in existence. And I am understanding this, and it's like, everything 12th house is collective pain. And I realize very well, it's like, P, you gotta go through this. I have to go through this now. Because if I don't, if we don't, there's a simple reality that I was reminded of last night as I was talking. And right now there's 9 billion people or something on the planet. And you know, let's say supposedly or allegedly in the moment, 144,000 will make it through that ascension process, and we will not have a physical human form, which means that all these materialistic forms of love will all die. It's already dead. But I know very well that the next real beginning of this is in March 2023. And that's when Pluto implodes in Capricorn. And the moment that happened is when we begin the transformation and revolution of the people. And I've been understanding friendship as one of the higher forms of love. And I've been seeing this just through reflections of other people that I've been meeting. Friendships, people, not things, not status, not reputation. Thank you, Jewel Rebel, Rebel Jewel, Miss Rebel Jewel. You know, I'm going to take a moment to read your comments, because I didn't see anything really yet, in all sincerity. And maybe there's something in here. Love, I have no Cancer placements, but I'm understanding the Cancer fields this year on a whole new level. As a first house stellium and Cap with Chiron and Leo, I can totally relate to everything you just said about this Cancer season. To accept other people's truth and reality in the way they want to show love, whether you agree with that or not. Ashley Collins, thank you. That really hits. That really hits. Thanks for going through live right now and sharing your heart. Like, this is exactly what I need at this moment. Thank you so much. It's so multidimensional and always in motion. It's hard to explain in words, but I feel what you want to express. And that's the irony, right? Like, I've been able to feel my whole life. Like, I can always feel it, but trying to put it into words is very difficult. It's tremendously complex, but actually you said something that's been hitting me lately. And it's to accept other people's truths and reality and the way they want to show you love, whether you agree with that or not. And that's what's been starting to hit me, where like I can... This has come up when I'm back on US soil right now. I've been here for I don't know how long, and it's like I've been confronted with unconscious racism. And you know, the thing is, like, it's been 4 years or so since I lived on US soil, so it's like this shit hit differently. It really does. It's like, especially to be aware of it and recognize that others that I'm interacting with aren't always aware of it. And I'm like, what I'm saying is, it's like, it's kind of like being able to meet people where they're at, not where I want them to be. And in the process to not punish others who are doing right by me or not. I guess that part doesn't even matter, but mostly to not punish others, kind of like with like what you would do to a narcissist, right? We're like stonewalling, and it's like, well, what if that person is not... And when I say narcissist, I'm talking somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, because there's a difference, right? I don't believe narcissism is a bad thing. I'm talking specifically about the disorder, where it's like the only way to handle that, in a sense, or not the only way, but one of the major ways that's been discovered so far, if you will, up to this point, is stonewalling, like just shutting people out, you know, just being quiet and letting their reign pass. But what I realized is, like, you know, there are certain awkward scenarios with that exact approach, because it's like in some ways, it's like, is that unconditional in a form, as a form of love? Like, is that unconditional as a form of love? I don't know. I'm not actually telling you right or wrong here. I'm just stating something out loud. But my point is, let's say that this person that does not have this personality disorder, right? And they just happen to show love in a way that maybe I don't. To more so embrace, like, I like what you said, because to more so embrace, like, that it doesn't make their style of love wrong. Just because it's not my style, or the style I grew up with, or the style that I recognize or respect, doesn't make it wrong. And on top of that, it doesn't make my version of it any more right. And so I've been playing with this more and more and more, honestly, for a little while now. And I just wanted to kind of just throw you some love on being able to for sharing that, or like, what does it mean to receive love? Yeah, thank you. This is intimacy. Good question. Thanks for going. I read that. Boom, boom, boom. You're really making me think too, and I don't know how to receive love. Then maybe I don't truly know how to give it either. Yeah. Mars and values in Aries. Mars and Venus in Aries, I can relate with that. What's up, Majin? Thank you, Jasmine. Miguel Guri. I feel you, man. Having these issues pop up at this moment too. That intellect, real vibration, same placement. The eighth hermetic, the generative principle, care. I like. You're generating and putting into action this principle. So go you. Yeah, I like the care comment. 12th Sun, 12th Pluto. What's up, Starlander? You know, I kind of got that whole Hermit card in reverse mode going on. Like, it's been clear. It's like, it's been telling me, it's like, look, P, like, you got to come back out, bro. Like, you got to come out. You got to come out of the dark. It's like, you know, I feel like I have so many more elements within me that prefers to just say, it's not my middle finger, but prefers to just say, F everybody. I'm going to go live solo dolo in the mountains, right? Like, there's a part of me that really wants to do that. And that's more so years ago. I don't really want to do that anymore, because I understand a little bit better why am I really here. And like, I'm literally here to assist, okay, humanity in that whole ascension process. And I've been realizing, like, in order to do that, like, I have to embrace my more repressed emotions and realize, I was talking to my lady the other day, and she said something, and she said, what was the example? It was a perfect example. Crap. It was just last night. Crap. I forgot it for the moment. It'll come back. But my point is, you know, I got that call to go in. It's been about a month and a half. I got that call to just recently more so come back out. And it's like, it's like, it's like, mostly because of how I've been called to come back out, right? And I've been called to come back out in a way where, you know, mind you, I have a South Node in Cancer, 8th house, right? But my Mars is also in the 8th. That Vertex is also for me Cancer in the 8th. There's so much more 8s in there, right? So my point is, like, I'm required in some ways to really be intimate with others, but not necessarily everybody. And I've been having to learn that through a lot of, like, the Gemini, if you will. Like Geminis have been teaching me that a lot, where it's like, I realized that for me, intimacy can change for everybody. Everybody can see, and I see intimacy as 8th house, right? Like, intimacy can change, how it looks, how it feels. It can change for everybody. You know, I see into me, right? I see into me. It's one of the best ways I've seen it. And the more accurately I see into myself, right, the more accurately I know who to share my love with. And this has been rising within me, if you will. Literally, I'm a Scorpio rising, right? This I see into me, this intimacy. It's been rising within me, and what it's been showing me recently is that I've always had a lot of acquaintances, but I've never had a lot of close friends. But I've really confused those friendships, especially in my earlier years, and honestly, even in some of my later years, certain people, where it's like, I realized that, you know, some of my biggest heartbreaks, not even always from a romantic love partner, but from them as well, right? Crap, my eyes itching. And what I realized is, for me, intimacy is sharing the most vulnerable parts. Okay, when I think of the crab, right, and I'm telling you, I saw crabs. I saw dead crabs. I saw red crabs. I saw black crabs. I saw black crabs with blue legs. I mean, it can't even make this up. I've never seen crabs in my real life, right? Crabs are everywhere. I literally ran up on a crab's nest. The last couple of days I was in Puerto Escondido, which is the hidden portal in Spanish. It was in Mexico, right? Right after the retreat finished, I ran up on a whole crab nest. I mean, there were at least hundreds and hundreds of eggs. And it was a crab family of 8, 7 crabs, all black. And then there was just one other crab who was not a part of the family, a different colored crab. I seen a real red crab, the one you see as a part of the title in the title of this Cancer 8th house video. And my point is, I started watching crabs, just watching them, right? And I'm just standing there, just staring at them, because I know we're in Cancer season, right? I'm like, all right, let's get the real life example. And honestly, first off, they're very private. We kind of know that, right? We can intellectually digest this, that crabs are private. Okay, I recognize for me myself that I'm a supremely private person. I realize that, Cancers are overly introverted until they feel comfortable with you, right? And then they're the friend that won't shut the hell up. Like Cancers, and I recognize it by myself. It's when I'm in real life, it's I'm literally just going to watch you in silence. And I had to start realizing, because I know myself more naturally as an extroverted type of energy in earlier years. But I see into me, absolutely. But as years kept going, I recognized I actually am not a very talkative person if I don't F with you. Literally, I'm if I don't like you, I really will have very shallow, superficial conversation, if that. And I prefer to just walk away. And I don't really care too much. And I started recognizing about myself where, when I think of that Libra 12th, that subconscious programming within me for that, my Libra 12th house is that I have to be socially polite with everybody. That just because I understand how to maintain harmony and balance, that it was my personal responsibility to be that balanced beam. And I realized I really don't care about this. In fact, it disgusts me to do something so superficial. But I could not deny that. And I recognized this recently. I was talking to people that had discussions with their therapist, and it was when you have parents that divorce, usually the child, and my parents divorced, right? Usually the child will learn how to tiptoe on eggshells to make sure that they don't cause any extra disharmony. So they learn to recognize very minute, minuscule, preemptive keyword, scenarios to make sure that the left, the right, the up, the down, that they don't cross that shell that will crack if it's stepped upon, and it will cause disharmony. So the child, which is me, literally, will make sure that they go above and beyond to maintain the harmony. And I had to recognize this, that this is my 12th house. This is literally my Libra 12th house. Knowing how to socially engage in a way that everybody is in a win-win scenario. But the issue in a sense with that is that goes entirely against everything that I am as an Aries. In all sincerity, it's like an Aries cares. I feel like we all know this, but it's like it does not care to make sure that everything is so harmonious, right? And so I realized, like, what are the consequences of that for me? And ultimately, it's like certain boldness, certain bold and creative expressions of minds were getting pinned down by these more, that 97% of like subconscious programming, the stuff that I have to really unlearn. And, you know, I had somebody really recently look a little bit more into my past life, and I didn't really get the full story, to be honest, but kind of like in a Coliseum, you know, I was a warrior and I had a partner who was a warrior as well. And long story short, like the king or whoever was involved, they wanted answers that we had, but we knew we couldn't give it. For whatever reason, we couldn't give that information out. And it was kind of like this. It was like, we're going to the death. Like, they're going to kill us anyways. Let's just die together. And long story short, I thought we were in agreement on that in one of my past lives. But this partner of mine betrayed my expectation. My expectation. This is betrayal. My expectation. You know, when somebody betrays you, is they betray my expectation. If somebody betrays me, they betray what I expected of them. And so, long story short, in this past life, this person gave me up and I died, right? And they got to live a lush life and whatever rats live like afterwards. And so what I realized is, like, I know this for one of the for what I'm expressing right now, this is one of the things that really negatively impacted my ability or my desire, if you will, to be intimate with others, where I'd rather stay a little bit more on that like surface level, if you will, because it's like, oh man, I can't be hurt in such a way again. And somebody recently, my lady was recently talking to me. This, I wish I could remember this example because it was perfect. But it plays into this theme of love and receiving love, where it's like, I realized that I have to be willing to get burnt, but hopeful that it actually works out. You feel me? Like, I've been realizing this, that like, I do know Cancer is one of the reasons why it so beautifully handles betrayals, because me as a Cancer Mars, like, a lot of what I do is subjective. Like, I do what I feel like doing. I don't do what I'm told. I don't really do what's expected in my natural forms if I'm not falling into that programming, right? I do basically what I feel like doing. So it's like, if I feel like going live, I just go live, and all other responsibilities have no pertinence, even if it does. But if you don't have, I don't feel like it, so it's subjective. So I realized that like a lot of Cancer is within me, right? And it's like, this is why I'm getting to the point where that 8th house of mine is continuously transforming throughout my whole life. So I'm continuously transforming how I understand, deal, and represent betrayal, right? Where part of the most important part of this is that it's all subjective with Cancer. It's not logical at all. Right now, we are Mercury in Cancer, right? And when I last checked this morning, it was 4th degree. So it's like the nostalgia, and this is where I keep finding my way to awkwardly step around this, trying to gain a sense of security and safety. Like, I'm literally doing it right now. The imprint of my first my first love, if you will, my first real love, the infidelity that took place. I realized that like it imprinted me. And this is what Cancer does. And this is the season that we're dealing with. Wherever Cancer sits in our chart, This is where the imprint is likely going back to, well, what happened around 16 years old? Anywhere from 14 to 16, maybe 17 at a high. What happened around that time frame? And this was my first, like, from my understanding, this is my true love at the time. And it remained that way. God knows, like, I never really let that go. I never really let go of, like, oh, fuck, like, this was my true love. I believed it, but it was imprinted where it was not my true love. I can objectively and logically understand that, but the feeling within me is like, well, this was my true love. It can't get better than this first love story. There was nothing that I wasn't willing to do. And that's me then going through my cycles and dating everybody basically in whatever different way or same way, just like her. Not realizing it up front, but to later then realize, holy crap, I've dated the same female all my life in a different body. Different woman, different name, but the same person, the same personality, the same love style, the same triggers, the same everything. And it just took God knows how many different women with the same mentality, same energies. Thank you. What's up, Shireen? Shireen, I know I didn't get to your message either. Honestly, for anybody that's watching this, I likely didn't get to none of y'all messages. And I can't actually tell you that I'm sorry. But I can tell you that I acknowledge it and that that I had to, in this moment, choose me. Because in all sincerity, my own emotional healing, which I'm speaking literally about right now, it took priority above everything and everybody. So, thank you. I appreciate you for understanding. But long story short, like, I had to realize, like, it all went back to this. And so part of the imprint was that I am literally too much for other people. And in this particular instance, I'm going to say my romantic partners. That I'm too much. That, like, I'm a lot. Like, that I come with a lot of energy that requires a crap ton of attention. And, like, let's be real. Like, I am an Aries stellium, 3 Aries in the 5th. That's all Leo's energy. So in reality, a lot of that is simply just true. Like, I require a lot of intimacy, a lot of energy, a lot of attention, much like a baby. Like, I need all your love. Like, if I'm in love with somebody, I had to really begin to embrace this. I need all the love. Give me everything. I want it all. As long as you make sure you give yourself that love too. That for me is like that's the only real requirement. It's like, look, make sure you love yourself, sure, but like outside of that, you know, be communicative, talk, speak up, you need your space, cool, great. That's all good and dandy for me, but it's emerging, absolutely. Like for me, like it's the simplicity. Now, as much as I learned that I need all of that, and I want all of that, or nothing, absolutely, Shireen, I had to also start understanding and embracing that, like, there was a twisted reality of what did I consider intimacy. And the issue was I was believing that women I was dating was giving me all of that. But technically they, in a sense, were, but from a twisted understanding of what it meant to receive that love. And, you know, weeks ago, literally like, I think like a week before the retreat began in Mexico, this junk hit me. And, you know, my partner backed out. And this is how it hit. This is how it all came. My partner backed out. He didn't come to the retreat. About 9 days out, I got that message. And I say this with love, you know, like it is what it is. I'm not gonna I'm not going to get crazy on that. But like, even as I say it out loud right now, like in my chest, it feels so tight. Like, as I say that, my chest feels so tight, because it's like in a way, like I got to get that out. But at the same time, like, I don't want it to consume me. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the area of my life that I choose to become bitter. Because I've already seen what that scenario looks like. So again, like I said, you know, I had to understand that, like, betrayal for me, it is subjective. For me, that's unacceptable. For me, that's unacceptable. For me, this is like the highest form of betrayal. It's like, we don't do that. Like, but I had to understand, like, that this is my understanding of intimacy, of like love. Like, this is how I understood it. Like, that for me that's a heartbreak. Because the entire reason or source of why I even ran a retreat for all women is because I truly believe in the mission behind the message. And that is to bring them back to divinity, to actually feel safe enough to be led by a masculine energy. So if this, for me, this is my subjective understanding of why it was so important. So if another masculine figure, in a sense, betrays that expectation, which is what happened, that for me is the highest level of heartbreak. It's the most painful. And it's overly consistent. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. It's most definitely the last time. Without a shadow of a doubt, with everything I love, this will never happen again. Now, as a part of that, I'm in the process of really trying to navigate, well, how do I make sure that this never happens again? This form of heartbreak never happens again, but that I don't shut the world out and treat the world as the same. Or treat the world as like, well, this is a pattern that I'm going to always be stuck in. Because I don't believe that, especially as I say it out loud. I know it's not that simple. And I know that we all have our own programs. We all have our own reality and existence that we're living. So I look to, yeah, I know, Shireen. Yeah. That donkey kicking me in my shins. Yeah, it continued. And it's like like you said, like, you know, this is one of the moments where, like, if anything, this experience, if you will, it really did break my heart. There's nothing, that's never going to change. It broke my heart, period. Because for me, the mission about humanity and the suffering we're going through, I know that it requires man and woman, or energies, masculine and feminine energies, to have this oneness too, and to come together and get back to this divinity point. I know that without that divinity, we as a society, as a humanity, we're all doomed. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. Like, y'all all heard my other messages prior. Like, I'm very adamant on this. I know this with all clarity in my heart. Like, a lot of people will die. We need this divinity, this top point. And I know that it requires masculine and feminine energies within us. I, with my feminine energy, which is ultimately expressing a lot of this today, needs to fuse in my own masculine energy. So, like, for me, it's like, that's like priority above it all. So the reason I'm saying this is, like, I had to understand, this is what began to reveal to me. This is my personal experience, right? This is what revealed to me that I had a twisted sense of love. And what does it mean to receive it? And what does it mean to give it? And I'm really still working through this a lot. Like, it's something that I fully embraced, that this is not the one that I'm going to be able to just solve it tonight. Because even if I was given the answer, which somewhere in these chats, I see you guys really helping me out, and I appreciate you with what are your understandings of love. And if anybody on here is new, I'm going to ask you the same thing. You know, what does it mean to receive love? Like, what does it, I don't want to say mean. I don't want to look at this too logical. What does it feel like to receive love? What does it feel like to receive love? And like, this is something that I'm sincere about, wanting to gain a better understanding of what that feeling is, so that I can improve as a leader, to make sure that I continue to practice what I preach. And part of that is to lead with vulnerability. It should feel the same as giving it. Well, then I'm all off. I'm off. That's the hardest answer for me to hear right now, Shireen. That is the hardest one. Because if it should feel like what it needs to give it, then this is how I know that something's also still off, right? Because for me, like when I hear that, honestly, the instinctual is like, well, then a lot of you mother lovers owe me. That's literally what, and that's how I know that transaction that I've talked about, that transactional understanding, this experience happened because of that transactional understanding. That like, if it should feel like what it is to give it, well, like, well, hell, because hell, like, so who needs to get smacked? Because I've been given love, and it looks like everything. It's infinite. It's pure. It's literally, if I think Aries, like in all sincerity, even if I took myself out of the equation, if I think Aries, it is the purest light. Like nothing more pure exists than a baby coming out of their mother's vagina. Nothing. This is my sun, my moon, and my Mercury. Now, mind you, my moon is 28 degrees. So this is not young Aries energy. This is not young, pure light energy. This is mature, pure light that does not prioritize themselves like everyone believes Aries are. Everybody believes Aries are just these pure selfish creatures. It's like, I'm not a 1 degree Aries. My moon is 28 degrees Aries. Mature. So whatever it is, I needed to hear it because it's a great rule of thumb. Because like I said, this will never happen again. I might have missed something. I thank you all for taking the time to vote. I also thank you all for taking the time to hit the thumbs up button on this video. You gave too much. I did. It's just that simple. I did give too much. People can't give back what they don't have. I never heard that before. People can't give back what they don't have. Damn, you can make it. I gotta get up. I gotta stretch that one out. Let me go. Shit. Okay. Shireen, you're way too real of a human, or whatever you are. About to just take a bite of that. This is that Snickers. You need a moment. They're gone. I'm not promoting Welch. They should pay me for this, but whatever. I need a moment. Yeah, you had to sip on that one. You just made my night. Okay. So we all know Cancer is the gut, right? My belly is doing all types. It's like My belly's like, it's like the ocean in there right now. It's just shifting. It's like, what did she just say? Literally, like it's why I said Cancer is 65 million plus years old, right? Older than dinosaurs. Has seen every known threat to man. It's like picking that nostalgic memory. The same way it imprints, where I'll find my way loving the same person from 14 to 17 years old, is imprinting on this particular threat of what Shireen just said. And it's like, what did she say? People can't give what they don't have. It's like Cancer was like, ooh, did you, Bobby, P, did you hear that? We remember. I swear to God, like there's like a certain joy that just washed over me, and like nervousness at the same time, and like anxiety, and like truth, and like just nail in the coffin. Like, got it. It's like, hey, you remember that? We remember that. So you remember that. Thank you. And you know what just happened in a moment for Shireen? I see a snake on the ground, by the way. It's not a real snake, but I see a snake. By my foot. What just happened in the moment is why I say that I truly believe that leaders must lead in vulnerability. Because if I don't come out here and speak, it's almost like my lack of vulnerability gives me a lack of understanding, forgiveness for myself, literally a lack of an ability to forgive myself, because this is like a part of it, right? This is a part of it. For me, it's definitely a part of it. It's like, P, you saw the red flags. And this is not even about any particular one person. This is about lovers. This is about business partners. This is about anybody. I don't even care who you are at this point. It's like, how many times, and this is the thing that like I really did as a part of this promise to myself. It's like, I will never forsake my intuition ever again. Like I will never ignore a red flag. Like, in all sincerity, I never looked for red flags, which one part of me is like, well, maybe you should have. Another part of me is like, you don't have to look for them. You saw them. You just got to accept them. And then this is really the bigger part. It's like, I would never not accept red flags again. No. I don't even. I tell you what, the way Shireen just hit me, I feel like what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these comments and I'm getting off. I see somebody say I'm off too. That's crazy, right? Like, right? Like, that's crazy because I know that's the full confirmation. I'm going to read through these comments. I'm going to shoot out anything that I didn't see in real time because I know within my heart, like, that was the it. That was it. That was it. It's like, this was what the message was for me today. I'm going to like, do I have a sticky somewhere? I do have a sticky, but where? Where you at, baby? I'm about to write that comment. I think I got a sticky right here. I'm about to write that comment and I'm about to pin it. You know what? Let's do it right here. Let's do it right here. And I'm going to read it again so I make sure I got it right. So tired of that feeling. What's up, Lysandra? How you doing, girl? We all tired of that feeling, and that's why we're here, and we're going through an intervention. What did she say? People can't give back what they don't have. Done. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay. Where's my eraser? Oh, right here. Okay. So we're gonna go. People can't give back what that marker's going out. Look at that. They trying not to let me get the message. We're going to get the message. What they don't. I don't feel like I gotta like hit this one at curses or something. Half. Bang. We're gonna make that pretty on a different time frame. For now, we're gonna draw a little heart. That's it. We're gonna draw another heart right here. That's it. That's the message for today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the comments. Now I know for a fact that I'm gonna let that one sit. We're gonna sip on that daily. And Shireen, thank you. Everybody, can y'all just tell Shireen thank you? If she hit you with that, because I know she did, can we just tell her thank you? And everybody else, thank you. On some real, I feel great. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel great right now. Like there's a certain sense of relief in my soul. Okay, it's not even like I feel it for sure in my heart too, but oh crap, what's going on? I feel like it's in my soul. Why can't I keep this thing up right now? All right, we're gonna get this up. Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone. Angel, what's up? What's up? All right, I'm gonna read these comments to see what's up. Okay, Donut, they told anyone here want to help me clean my green saltwater pool. Damn, you got a green saltwater pool? You better go, you. Yes, I have no Cancer placement. I'm feeling, oh, I think I saw that. I saw that. Okay, what did I say? Good question. You're making me cry now. Bang, going to lemon. I need to feel so much. Okay, I seen that. You really making me up. Seen that. Where's my new ones? I saw new ones. Angel, Jasmine, Miguel, thank you. Starlander, what's up? Jewel, what's up? Definitely the breakthrough. I thank you. I like it. You're welcome. Prayer hands. Absolutely. What's up, Amanda? How you doing? If you're still here, my Chiron is in the 8th. Placidus, been going through a rough time. It's been a rough time. I got my Chiron in the 8th. Yo, Cancer season is licking my emotions like a lion who's been wounded in the jungle. Like that's what it's been. It's been licking my emotions like a lion wounded in the jungle. That's exactly what it feels like. Even though it hurts to have that racism, it's also a form of love. When you look at the duality and the conditioning and the pain collectively, it's all love ultimately, even when it hurts. Yes, I believe it, because the unconscious racism has been definitely alive in a different way since I've been back on U.S. soil. You know, from people that I care for, but I'm finding new ways to respect even myself, when like there are some moments where like, look, I gotta walk away. You know, you still cool people. I'm just gonna take my step away. All right, here we go. Giving someone the space and freedom to grow while learning how to love that version of who they are during that season of their life is unconditional love to me. Jasmine, thank you. Honestly, what you just said, Jasmine, is really what my girlfriend has been really helping me with. You know, I really met a lovely lady, and it's like, this is why a lot of these themes have rose, because I had the clear conversation with her, and I was like, look, I knew from last month. I was like, yo, I looked a little ahead at the Cancer forecast, and I was like, I'm about to get my booty wiped on the emotional space. And I said it, I was like, I could tell already that I'm gonna need a lot of time to myself. And the key has been to make sure that taking time to myself doesn't become like a isolation, you know, doesn't become like a punishment by chance, like ooh, like, hey, I'm healing, you can't come near me, not now, not ever, but rather, hey, here are these moments. Like right now, she went ahead and went to the beach. We're in Miami. She went to the beach, and I was invited to go with other people. And it was like, I was like, look, I need to stay. I need to take this time for myself. I need to go ahead and do this live, because it's like, I need a different form of therapy right now. You know, I don't need to be be out here in Miami and you know, doing my woo, like I need to be in the crib and take some dolo time. That's what it was. And so for it to be able to be just understood that this is nothing directly in denial of you or your family or your people, but just what I need right now more than anything. So it's those little things like that and other little things like, you know, like it's been hella freaking emotional. It just is what it is. Like I've been in a super emotional space on so many levels. Some of them are just ancestral, and I have, you know, family lines or even people that are not even a part of my family, but just a part of my, let's say, cosmic family on earth, whatever how you want to call it, who are like screaming out and looking to gain retribution because they're like, look, he understands how to communicate what we've felt and he's in a position to hurt people. And I'm telling you, some of that and some of the ones who need, what do you want to call it, support passing over, it's been a lot of other souls during this time of my own personal isolation who've been reaching out to gain their own sense of peace, and some in the middle of that to gain their own retribution, revenge, vengeance. And it's like, my whole thing is I've been needing a lot of space alone so I can discern those voices right now, because I'm like, hey guys, we need to make a line, because not everybody here is about to get their chance through me, if you will. We got to prioritize right now. So that's why I also say thank you for anybody who's been reaching out for just giving me the love, because that's also why like Shireen, one of them, she sent me a message and I saw it. I didn't have the space, but for her to understand it, for example, or even Jasmine, any of y'all. So I want to say thank you. That was a great definition or a great understanding. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna read it again because I thought it was dope. Giving someone the space, unconditional love, like how to receive love was my question. Giving someone the space and freedom to grow while learning how to love that version of who they are during that season of their life is unconditional love to me. Facts. Hi, Lysandra. Life. You said something earlier about not knowing that you don't know. There's an old saying about that foe, the definition of a fool. That was a little too complex for me. Majin, if you're still here, you want to repeat that somehow, hit me with it, because I didn't get it right away. The Observer, deep-seated family issues on my own boundaries and why I allow myself to be treated in abusive ways. Boom. Like the rose-colored glasses lifted off. Yep. And like I said, grand scale of 2025, when Pisces leaves Neptune, that's when everybody's rose-colored glasses and the masses, not judging, I just think it's relevant, will come off. Same place, my Vertex, yada, 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 boom. There's no one I don't even like when... There's no one I don't like even when they hurt me. I'm just too forgiving. I don't know what it's like to not like someone. In half of that equation, I fully feel you. I swear, like half. Because there are people that I don't like. But even the people that I don't like, I will never curse them. So did you hear what I just said? Even the people that I don't like, I will never curse them. I will never, like, during this whole process, there's so much black magic that's been casted on me. And I started to respond in a way where I was falling into the spell. Which is, again, another reason why I had to take the month and a half off. Because I was like, P, don't let your soul or your purpose get so derailed that you let somebody else BS hex you. People only hex themselves. Exactly. Thank you. Because that's what was starting to happen. I was like, the mission was for me to essentially hex myself. That's like the black, like understand this. Black magic can't work on you if you essentially return to sender And that's basically what I had to do. And how I had to do that with the rage. Like, rage was actually like rising within me. And I had to just cool down. And I've been around so much water. It was in Puerto Escondido. I'm currently in Miami. Like, if you look, the freaking entire ocean is outside of my window. It's like I've been having to submerge my body into water. I've been having to focus on more water cleansing magic and using the actual ocean. And thank God, like, at this place I'm at, there's like a salt water pool and it's like no chlorine. So it's like I had to like cool my ass back down. I had to turn the rocket boosters off. So my point behind it is, I'm not going to tell you that there's people that I don't like. Because there's people that I don't like. But I would never curse somebody. I would never wish bad on them. Because even the people that I don't like, I do my best to understand. Even the people that I don't like, I do my best to understand that they're also going through their own experience. And that what they're doing is not personal to me. Even when it feels personal. Boundaries become cells, can become cells. Yep. Yes, I'm feeling the same with Libra 12. Love is risky, but it is better to love in loss than not to love at all, so they say. Yeah. Whatever the message I was getting prior, it was kind of a little bit related to that. Miss Jewel Rebel. And I'm really realizing, like, look, whatever ways I've been burned past life or this life, I feel like whatever it is, love is worth it. And this is what's happening. Like, you know, Cancer for me, Cancer is the return to love. I say the return because it starts a new season of emotions after we've matured and become emotionally intelligent enough to understand how to deal. I liked Spartacus. It goes against all laws of reality. I'm glad, Miss Jewel, because this all is therapy for all of us. Maybe it ain't enough, no shade. Bang. Merging all or nothing. Bang. Maybe we should meet. I knew something had happened. I felt it. Oh, I didn't recognize you by your name. I seen your emails. Thank you, Synchronicity or Magic. I saw your emails. Oh, I was set. What about that stuff? Yeah. Oh man. You know, and let me clarify something. Because there's a reason I took this time apart. Okay, because I see here, I'm upset about that, but I still love PD though. Let me clarify something for a moment. I got nothing against PD, not at all. You know, this is what I had to learn again about Cancers, like from a subjective place, right? Just because I felt like my heart was broke by certain actions, it's the same thing I said before. You know, I wish good for him regardless. And you know, I had that clear conversation, and the way it kind of ended off, he said, you know, thank you for your grace and understanding, and that's kind of how it simply ended off. So you know, I just want to clarify, like, for me, this doesn't mean there's really no hate for the scenario. Like, I understand that each of us personally are all going through our own personal experiences. This for me is just super duper clear. So I want to clarify that for starters. You know, I said what I said and I really meant it. Like, I don't respect certain actions. Point blank clear. Like, that's not going to change. I don't respect it. I'll say that to anybody's face. I don't care. Now, with that being said, me not respecting something is also subjective, right? I don't have to respect it. And the next person doesn't need to like my answer or how I feel about it. Now, at the same time, it's the same what I said. It's like, I'm not going to wish bad. I'm not going to wish bad. Because at the end of the day, we all got our personal role and our personal purpose, right? And in his own way, he's freeing a lot of people through his message. And so for me, it's like, I can never condemn somebody. especially somebody who's still in his own ways. He's freeing people. At whatever level he's freeing them, he's freeing them. So this is important. Turning on people or whatever that looks like, I don't believe is the answer. At the end of the day, like, there are a lot of people who are receiving information that he's dishing out that need it at the level that they're at. And then one day will come when they won't. And the same thing happened for me. For whatever attracted him and I, we needed each other. In all sincerity, we needed each other at whatever level we were at. But this is the important part to understand, as like, I grow rapidly. A lot of people I know grow rapidly. And so as a part of that, it's like, we need to understand that not everybody will stay, right? A season or reason or to stay. They're here for that season, they're here for that reason, or they're here to stay. And that's okay. The purpose together was served. Thank you. It's a prime example. Like, it did what it was supposed to do. Like, I understand that him and I had a karmic contract. I can see this very clearly. Now, what that karmic contract is, okay, those things played itself out. So for whatever it was in past lives, whatever we arranged as a part of those contracts, it was arranged and served. So full circle, you know, I don't want anybody, and this is why I really had to take a lot of time away as well and not speak, so that I didn't speak from the immature Aries version who just wants to go to war, because I do enjoy war. It is the simplicity of it. I love to go to battle, but my own personal purpose and my walk requires me to not fight this battle and to literally not care about fighting that battle. Like, it's not even a part of my MO or my, no, there's no motivation to do such things. Yes, my husband is staying with his girlfriend. I did a human design chart, and the magnetics, all of them are the exact same. I'm trying to explain what them love, even though it hurts. So move to a higher vibration than that. That's the thing. Like, you know, if people will go for Ashley Collins. People will, people's vibrations will shift and change. It's like kind of like what I said right there. You gotta do it yourself. Others and needing bang, bang, bang. Receiving love to me feels like people really trying to understand me or meet me where I am at by reading my body and kind of marrying that back in a sense. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that I have a lot of that, and I had to realize that just because I understood about how to read other people's body language, I had to start understanding that not everybody reads body language the way I do for myself or the way I understand it, right? So that became a part of my expectation that, like, oh, well, you should know that this bothers me, but it's not that simple. Why should they know that I speak up about these things, that I create these boundaries? Like, for a lot of their things, like a lot of these things that I had to learn about this entire situation for myself is I didn't have certain boundaries set up in play that I learned officially to make sure that I do have. And I didn't maintain certain boundaries that were already up in place. Again, that's my fault. Both times. Both times. So that's why, again, like I think when we take a more honest and sincere look at things, which I do the best that I can to do, I understand the majority of my faults in this. What's up, Echoist? Gemini is giving you so much downloads I can't even imagine. Gemini, yo, my Venus is in Gemini, okay? And Venus is right now in the sky in Gemini. And Mercury was in there pairing with Gemini at a point. So I'm having a whole bunch of returns during this time frame. Yes. Massive test, well done, very tough, but will serve you forever. Truth. You were able to get it done on your own. And that's the irony, you know, out of that, it didn't actually happen on my own. In the process, I gained a girlfriend and a business partner. So it actually didn't happen on my own. You know, and this is why I found like it's important not to focus only what was lost, but what was gained. Right? Like I gained a very stable partner who understands me naturally, and who I understand naturally. And that it was like one fated encounter was simultaneously happening with like 3 fated encounters. There were so many fated encounters happening all at the same time. All at the same time. Which also is why it took so much space for me to take to myself, because I had to really get down and jiggy with discernment. I had to discern because I had got a clear message, and the message said, you have 49 people that's basically effing with you. And you got 3 people who are fully going to try to take you down with all the might that they can, all the power that they have. I'm going to say it again. I don't know why that was the number. 49 and 3 is what? 52? 52. 49 people are rocking with you, P. That was my guys coming. You got 49 people. They're rocking with you heavy. And you got 3 people who are trying to actively destroy you. And that 3, I won't lie to you, was very irritating. It irked my soul. There was so much rage within me that wanted to just burn this itch down. Everything and everybody. But that would have been exactly me falling into a pattern and a cycle that's not mine. I don't own that pattern and that cycle. And I can't and I won't, and I'm not willing to cycle that again. Because I've done this before. I've hurt everybody where it's like when I was more immature and didn't know how to accept that life is way more complex than all or nothing, I gave too much power to that 3 that were trying to take me down. And I ignored the fact that there's 49 blessing me. So it does no justice to myself or them, that 49 helping me, or the billions. And that was part of it. It freed you from that pattern. Facts. Where were you at with the transit? Where are you at with the transits and progressions? There's that. Words have to be supported or made. Many more to come. So just like that, Machinery. So glad I saw this notification. What's up, Michael? Me too. I'm in my 11th house, Cancer ascendant, Aries sun with moon in Virgo. Wow, pretty dope. I'm actually Aries sun, moon in Virgo right now. I am moon in Virgo. I am an Aries sun. Mercury in Taurus. And a Pisces stellium, all in the 10th house. Pisces Jupiter. Pisces Venus. Pisces Neptune, all 10th house. Gemini rising. Dope. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take this exact quote that I wrote. Thank you, from Shireen. It says, people can't give back what they don't have. That for me was the major ooh-wee. Grace, how you doing? I feel like I went to spiritual war at work the other day and I saw no choice but to totally shut down. Is that normal? Well, one of the first thoughts that I have is we always have a choice, which does not mean that shutting down was not the wrong thing. That doesn't mean it was wrong. It doesn't mean it was right either. I mean, you did it. To me, like, it is what it is. You did it. You shut down. So we all talking about Cancer right now, right? And if I think about Cancer, one of the things I learned about the superpowers of Cancer, which can become a prison, it can become a cell, it can become a prison. But one of the superpowers of Cancer is when something is wrong, they freeze. They don't move. They don't speak. They can have a whole conversation in their head, but they literally physically cannot move. They're frozen. They will just stare. And they begin to assess the threat levels. And they'll try to understand best of their ability what is the threat, how to solve this threat, and they'll sift through that, all the abilities that they've already essentially absorbed from others, other predators, throughout all time in history. So I know this because I studied it for myself. So again, I can't say to you that it was wrong. You're all right. It is spiritual war. Cancer is gaslight type energy. All right. It can convince you that you're wrong when you're right. So maybe there wasn't another choice. Because I won't lie to you, this happens to me pretty frequently. Like in real life, when I deal with like really, really tough things, I freeze. Part of why I do freeze is so that I don't act on purpose, which for me is not wrong. It's safe. Because again, I am a triple Aries. And if I act too impulsively in certain scenarios, people die. I've seen it in my real life. Like I hurt people. It is what it is. Or I want to say I did hurt people in various different ways. So this doesn't happen in any of my later years, but part of that is because I've learned to respect the power of Cancer and its ability to indirectly and unconventionally solve and push forward, different than the Aries will, which would do so more so with reckless abandon and based off of instinctual feeling, emotion, and an inclination for war. $52. Thank you. It is 52. Yeah, 52 cards in the deck. I believe it is 52. And that was my 49 plus 3, right? 49 good. And 3 trying to take me out. So, yeah. 52 cards in the deck. Thank you, everyone, for sharing here. I learned lots. Thank you, Angel. Awesome sauce. Thanks. Good to see you, Jazz. Words can also be forgiven, forgotten, and put to sleep. Just saying. Feeling where you are, and it sucks. It sucks like heck. Yeah. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite at all. But kind of like Shireen said, you know, these are lessons that have come to and for me as I ask you all to hit the thumbs up. Please help your boy out. Hit that thumbs up. First live back and longer than I prefer. You know, the reality is this sucks, but like Shireen said, it's like it came to me because I know very well that my next set of blessings are not only divine in nature, but fated. Yeah, I'm learning boundaries right now, among others. I can feel that. How do you release that pain? Because you know as well as I, it's not rage, it's sadness. Yeah. And again, like it's also so complex that it's not just rage, it's not just sadness, it's a little mix of all of them. Aries does struggle naturally to understand the complexities of the fact that all of those can exist. So I think you say you have a Cancer ascendant or a sun ascendant right now, Sun in Cancer right now or something like that, progressed. So it's likely helping you understand through Cancer's abilities that their emotions are complex. It's a bit of a conflict though, because I feel like I'm kind of here to break all the boundaries and barriers. But I guess there's a different places to have those. I don't know exactly what boundary or barrier you're talking about breaking, but there is a time and place for each thing. That's brilliant. Shout out to 49. Shout out to the 49. Well, very helpful. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. Absolutely. Follow the cards. So 100%. Oh wow, I just got out of Pisces. Damn it. I want back in that love. Yeah, Pisces love is amazing. Pisces love is amazing. Hey, while you all are here, I thank you for those thumbs up. Y'all super dope. Take that moment to vote over in the corner in the chat. I rock with y'all. While you're here, here's what's beautiful. I'm in the process of, I seen 20 votes off on the side, and I see most people saying that it's a tough emotional time. Yeah, it is. But you know, actually, I think PD says this all the time. Tough times make tough men. He says this all the time, and it really is the true statement. Tough times make tough men. Something like that. And I'm sure I'll count this for women as well. You know, because reality is about masculine energy, right? It's not about the actual physical male, right? Yeah, it's masculine energy. Tough times increases masculine energy, if I wanted to be more accurate. Masculine energy requires challenge in order to grow. And again, I have a shit ton of masculine energy and I got a crap ton of feminine energy. It all depends how you want to look at it. AKA S show. I know, so sorry, but yeah, so here's the magic of it, right? Starting August 13th, okay? I'm gonna type that down. You won't see anything necessarily out physically yet because I didn't do anything like that. But starting August 13th, 2022, I am happily teaching people how to live a more abundant reality. Okay, more so in a kickstart form. Okay, literally the whole program in this time frame of my downtime off is looking like starting an abundant reality kickstart. Literally. And it's more like a mentorship for intuition. So what that ultimately is, looks like 8 weeks. 4 of the weeks, you're literally going to work with me. 4 of the weeks, you're going to work more with Eileen. You might have met Eileen here and there. You've seen her on my profiles here and there over time. But her and I are going to come on live. We're going to talk a little bit more about that specifically. Today was more about me. Really gaining clarity and focusing more on an emotional expression. But beyond that, like, I do love what I do, and there's intuition ultimately is what got me to not only run a workshop kind of like this for that short time frame, but it's like you all are had a mentor that said don't treat people like they're stupid. So what I want to say in the moment is you're all wise, right? You're all wise. You're all wise enough. You are all on the internet. Like, I live a public lifestyle, okay? Excuse me. A lot of people that you know live a public lifestyle. A lot of people you watch on YouTube or any of these channels, they live a public lifestyle, right? And so it's like, as a part of that, the battlefield can get very complicated, right? The level of discernment that it requires on what to and to not say is very difficult. And a lot of that has been navigated via intuition. And so that's why I really did running like a literal intuition mentorship. But how do you use it? How do you practice and train your psychic abilities? Part of that is discernment. Part of that is there's other things going on, but there's looking like 4 different segments that's going to be broken into. And I won't spend time on this because this can be a whole separate convo. But it has to do a lot with emotions, right? Like, it's helping you to connect with your guides as a step 1. It's helping you to heal, which is a lot of what I've been literally doing for the last month and a half. And it's never a journey that ends, mind you. It's helping you to apply, okay, what the application looks like after you connect with the guy, after you do the healing, and really focusing on helping you conclude, which is where a lot of people really F up, right? We get all of it done, and then we slip at that last part on the conclusion. We come back, we connect with our guys, we get the insights, we go through the healing, right? And then we start applying it, but then we don't conclude it, and we just kind of stay stuck at that application phase, and we're not willing to let go of certain things. It's kind of like what Shireen said. She said, the purpose was served. So it's like, well, how do you conclude? And so if that's something interesting, dragons is involved. How'd you know? Yo, you can see my excitement. I didn't even share that. What did I say? I didn't say dragons today, did I? If you have only one show, who said that? Who said that as a crab? Then I can tell. That kind of things make everything want to hit the deck. Yo, where did dragons come from? Did you just like? I'm tripping out over here because dragons is definitely included. I'll leave it out. I'll leave it out for the moment. But dragons is one of the guys that I'm definitely going to help you learn how to connect with. Dragons and I have a very intimate relationship. Okay, my favorite dragon is a 9th dimensional dragon. It's the alpha male dragon. It's 9th dimensional. They don't really F with Earth. Okay, that's just they got way too many responsibilities. Yet and however, these dragons have been making visits. They don't stay, okay, because they got a whole crap ton of intergalactic responsibilities, if you will. But I'm going to teach you how to connect with them when you want. I'm going to teach you how to connect with angels. These are the two guys that in animals. For me, is the angels, the dragons, and the animals. These are the three versions of guys that I connect with the most clearly without much debate. It just happens, it's clear. And Eileen, who you're also working with, my partner that I said formed like a very stable partner throughout this time frame, kind of like in that return to love, if you will. She's a Pisces, so you can only imagine what the intuition looks like. Like she's an actual Pisces. She's not rising to be one, she's just Pisces. And a whole lot of it in the ninth house. So again, she kind of has that teaching element, if you will. So she has her own versions of connections, so she'll share that on her own. But if you're interested in something like that, like I said, it's going to be 8 weeks. It's more like it's an 8. Oh, it's an 8. It's more like an 8-week thing. It's kind of broken into 4 main categories. Really, how you connect with your guides. Jasmine, shout out to you. She just started up her own abundant group. How to connect with your guides. How to go through the healing. How to apply it, okay? What do you look like and feel like at that healed form? How do you teach and give at that healed form? And the conclusion, what it looks like when you actually close those cycles that can actually open the new doors. So that's kind of that 4, 1, 2, 3 piece segment. I do have PDFs that I didn't put out anywhere. I do have stuff that I didn't put out anywhere, but full circle. If that sounds interesting, drop an email. Just say, hey, look, I heard you mention something about this Abundant Reality Kickstart. And it's exactly that. How do you live in abundant reality? At the end of the day, you know, among everything that has happened, here's the simple reality. Not that this is what abundance looks like, but here's a part of the simple reality. This is where I am at the moment. And this is after leaving another place. Look at Miami. I love Miami is actually way cooler than I remember. But this is a part of it, right? This in the moment is what an abundant reality looks like for me. Now that's just part of it, right? Abundance is not just material things or material success or anything like that, right? Abundance is so much more, but let's be real, it's a part of it. You know, for the last 4 years or so, I have been living abroad. This is the simple reality. I have lived in all the places that people sit there and pretend that they live at for a week. Like, I live here, I do these things, and I'm saying this to just be clear and upfront that you see me doing it as a YouTuber. Like, let's be real, let's be frank. So this is not the type of things that happen overnight. I'm never going to try to promise you such a thing. But what I can tell you is that, like, I really know how to get you to do it for yourself. This is very simple. Most of the time prior to this, I did it for people on a more one-on-one base. But I've been called to open things like this more to people on a bigger group scale. So if that's something interesting to you, what's dope is the way it was all set up, it's not even something that cost. Like, you're going to spend more money at dinner in a week, which is dope. And so this has been a part of my call. Shoot the email. The link's in my bio. If not that, you know, we have other options in a moment. Join my Discord. I have not been active in there yet, but it's a good time to join it before I start creating any real structure, rules, regulations, and stuff like that. So if not that, join my email list. You'll see both of them somewhere in the chat. This one is my email list. I just dropped that right there, where you're likely even get the information and understand what I'm talking about. Like I said, August 13th is when this pops off. So my email list is likely where the first place I'll start pumping these things out. I'm a fire dragon. Oh man, if you're a fire dragon, you're so many more things than a fire dragon. If you are a fire dragon, that's all I saw. I didn't see everything you said. But if you're a fire dragon, you're so many more things than a fire dragon. Fire dragons, to my understanding, are 4th dimensional, by the way. They had the opportunity to go to the 5th dimension because they have aided humanity in their ascension process, but they chose to stay here on Earth and continue to assist the humans. What's nice about fire dragons is you can ask them, you should know a little bit more, but I don't know what you know, so I'm not going to say you should know more. But what's nice about them is fire dragons can help you to clear the path ahead, literally to blaze any enemies that get in your way, where you don't have to do the fighting for yourself, or you don't have to do the fighting for yourself, but as well as to clear old boundaries, to help you conclude old boundaries and open up new doors and keep you safe and protected along the way, among so many other things. I mean, there's so many other things going on with fire dragons, but I'll see y'all soon. I thank you. Here's my last note. People can't give back what they don't have.